Hi guys, thank you for joining me. Today I'm reviewing 4 albums from 4 very different bands from across the globe. We have Prickrot from the Netherlands, we have Katarsis, Tenebris from Brazil, BlockTheSun from Australia, and Helheim from Mexico. So let's start with Prickrot. Prickrot are an industrial black metal band formed in the Netherlands in 2005. The band is the shapeshifter on guitars and backing vocals, the scientist on bass, backing vocals, and the defiler on drums, and the announcer on vocals. Now, these guys have given us in 2018 a pretty special album, Dust of Obscure Devastation. I thoroughly enjoyed reviewing this album this week. It really was a really great listen. Lyrically, you can expect themes around anti-socialism, anti-Christianity, mental disorder, nihilism, and apocalyptic themes. So they're touching on all the pretty taboo subjects, but you know, this is black metal. This album is 10 tracks of obscure, heavy metal, hateful, and interesting addictive music. I've thoroughly enjoyed every track I've heard. So let's talk A Dead Audience, one of my favourites, probably the favourite off the album for me. This was themed around the annihilation of the human race through nuclear weaponry. That was my take on it, based on the lyrics. It's a very, very heavy track, extremely blackened, very experimental. I loved the unusual tempo throughout this song. I love that we have 3 different vocalists on this track as well. We have an amazing black metal shriek and scream. We have a very deep guttural death metal style voice, and then there's a progressive clean vocal in there too, and the 3 go together really, really nicely on this track, and that was probably the star for me. This is delicious, you know, it's got the darkened riffs. It's a very ominous track, fueled with devastation. Really, really enjoyed it. The next track I want to talk to you about is neurotransmission disorder, and the name says it all really. This had such an insane feel to it. The way that it's sung was almost like, you know, someone is losing their mind. There's a lot of pain and suffering in this song. It's extremely dark and murky, brutal and unrelenting. They're definitely touching on some taboo subjects within this track, and within some of their other tracks as well. So they're not shying away from the hard to talk about subjects, which is really quite cool. Listen, this has been such a great album to listen to. I thoroughly recommend that you all take a listen to all these bands I'm reviewing today. I loved that some of these tracks were heavier on the industrial, some were heavier on the black. There's 3 tracks on this album that are done in the Dutch language, and it made it so much darker for me. I don't think they would have been as dark had they been done in English, so I love that they mixed that in with the other English tracks. Now, these guys are gearing up for some really big festivals over their way, so if you're from the Netherlands or other parts of Europe, try and get to see these guys. I believe they would have a fantastic stage presence. They wear really creepy masks, you know, blood-splattered aprons and all sorts of things. They're pretty out there, they're very obscure, they're very progressive. I thoroughly enjoyed Prickrot. You can follow these guys on Facebook, of course, and their album and merch is available on Bandcamp. So thank you so much, Prickrot. I love that name. Alright, Katarsis Tenebris from Brazil, an amazing black metal band, very raw and underproduced sound these guys have. I love it. They were formed in 2017, so they're very new. We have Christfall on vocals, the amazing Christfall. We have Drea on guitars, Svadith on drums, and Mayfall on bass. These guys have given us a 5-track EP, Cursed Planes of Morality. It's very secular, it's dark, it's around Satanism, occultism, depression and suicidal themes. This EP, which is great to know, has had a lot of success for the boys in Brazil and other parts of South America, so well done to the boys. It's very, very convincing black metal. It has a great tempo. It's full of pain, angst and darkness, just like black metal should be. Listen, the intro I just loved. It's got this ominous vibe to it with a voiceover talking about a world full of torture, anger, hate, pain, cruelty, slime and stink. It was like something out of The Exorcist. It was fantastic. Twilight of Mysticism was one of my favourites off the track. It's very raw, it's underproduced, very high on the distortion. It had a real underground vibe, which is some of my favourite black metal. The uncontrolled and unrelenting black metal shrieks and screams from Christfall just blew me away and had the hairs on my arms standing up, which is always a good sign. The vocals on this track just made me fall in love with it. So I have to say that's probably my favourite off the 5-track EP. There was just such a darkness that came with it, unlike, you know, as did a lot of their other songs as well. Now, External Depression is obviously heavy on the depressive side, so it was quite a mix-up from the ungodly and evil themes that were its predecessor. So, you know, heavy on the depressive, packed with pain. It's very, very clear and translated through Christfall's vocals, the pain and angst in this song. His screams are so incredible and extreme. He's just out of control at some point in this song, and it really is very convincing. There's also some beautiful, nasty gutturals throughout this track, which was just a really nice, strong throat grab for me. Very, very emotional and moving track. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, these guys are busy writing new material for another album that's due to come to us very soon, so I'm really excited to hear what comes next for these guys. Make sure you take a listen. Now, while these guys have sold out of their EP, you can still have a listen to their songs on YouTube. So look them up and have a listen, and hopefully it entices you for when their new album comes out to get a copy for yourself. All right, let's move on to some grindcore. We have BlockTheSun from Adelaide, Australia. We have Jamie on vocals, Jules on drums, Jasha on bass, and Adrian on guitar. Now, these guys are a kick to the guts, heavy grindcore band. I absolutely loved this EP. It's a self-titled EP, BlockTheSun. And look, as grindcore is, it's short, it's fast, it's punchy, it leaves you wanting more. I found it a huge tease, and it's exactly what the band wanted. These guys are very thrash grindcore, I must mention. So I think I might have mentioned a little bit sludge punky before, but the more I listened, it's definitely a thrash grindcore sound they've got going on. This EP is a whirlwind of unrelenting, super fast, super heavy tracks. We've got lyric themes around apocalypse, toxicity of people, and how we as humans can become the devil. You know, we just can be so evil, and it's true. Let's talk Albatross. This track was so abrasive. It's angry and relentless. It was full of brutality. I loved the punk-esque beats throughout this. Avenged vocals. This really is noise-fueled music with grinding bass, blast beat, and high-speed tempo. What more could you want from grindcore? It was over way too soon for me. That's probably the only thing I could say wrong with it, but I understand that is how it's meant to be. And you know, it was just one of those EPs that I just could keep repeating because it's literally only 10 minutes long. So you just eat, sleep, repeat. The track I want to talk to you about next is Nothing, and it's a very, very short track, but let me tell you, it's further from nothing. This for me was very, very dark, very, very blackened riffs, and I was certainly not wanting this to end. Shake Boots, another favourite of mine. The energy in Jamie's vocals in this track is just ridiculous. It's so captivating. I just imagined a full throttle pit going off to this music with bodies just being thrown around in the surf. Really, really intense stuff. Beautiful, beautiful deep growls and, you know, high-pitched shrieks. This EP was a lot of fun. As short as it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you guys love heavy metal and you love your grindcore, give BlockTheSun a go because they're a pretty special band. These guys are working on another demo, which is pretty exciting stuff, so I look forward to hearing the next one. Follow them on Facebook, of course, and their music's also available on Bandcamp. So last but not least, we have Helheim. Now this is a instrumental black metal project out of Mexico, and this truly is a beautiful experience. Now we have Arturo Wolf, who is behind this project. He's also a part of a pretty successful death metal band in Mexico that are gearing up for some big tours at the moment. The band is called Wolf, so check them out too. But let's focus on this amazing album, which is Forbidden Book of Wisdom. We've got 8 tracks of instrumental blackened beauty. Now, for me, I didn't miss the lyrics because the music itself told the story, and I could really immerse myself in it and make up my own mind about what this music is trying to do for me. And it did a lot. It really did sweep me away. Nevertheless, the music does have themes. So we have ancient myths around Lilith's myths. Some of the stories are AJ's own creation, which is pretty special, such as Hell's Saga. He wrote the themes around his own creation, which I love. Also expect themes of external lust in hell, pleasing demons, and making torment of souls of women and men. I love that. Now, Love's Craft Prelude was one of the tracks I put up for you guys to have a listen to, and most of you really enjoyed it. I had some great feedback on it, which is great. It's a very intense listen. I really could feel the story that was being told behind this one, all around Lilith Smith. It really was very intense. There's some beautiful black and blast beats in this, and I love that there's a little bit of, technical death guitar solo going on in this track as well. It's a really, really nice touch. And it's obvious where AJ's background is with the death metal scene as well. Legion of Foreign Stars was a stunner for me. The riffs in this were so saddened, it just took me away and made me really, really feel, which is what music should do. Now, this whole album is 8 tracks full of beauty, brutality, blackness, darkness, mystique. It's a beautiful, beautiful album, and good news, the album will be available for purchase through iTunes, Reverb Nation, and you can contact AJ directly through his Helheim Facebook page. So do that, follow all of these bands on Facebook, look up their music, and let me know what you think. I really, really enjoy the feedback that I get from you guys after these videos on what you actually do think for yourself on this music. So my job is just to inspire you guys to go and have a listen for yourself and work out for yourself what I'm talking about. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to the bands. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting involved in your work this week, and I will continue to keep listening to you guys, of course. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.